Happy Easter, loves. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. Hey there to all my oldies but my goodies, and welcome to all my newbies. I hope you guys consider subscribing to my channel and you enjoy today's video. We're going to be heading down to my in-laws for Easter. I'm so excited to see them, especially my mother-in-law, because y'all know me and my mother-in-law are like this, okay? We tight. So I'm just putting together a few pieces to take down with me, as well as my night dresses and whatnot. And then we're going to get started with cleaning this room. I do apologize for the lighting, but it will get better in the next clips. I'm going to be starting off by dusting off the ceilings and the corners, just getting rid of any spider web or dust that may have accumulated on the wall. I always tell you guys I like to start from the top and work my way down, so any dust that falls or particles that fall on the things below, I'm able to clean them away. Like I always say, no one way is the right way when it comes to anything in life. Once you've created a technique that works for you and makes sense to you, then keep on doing what you do. It is your home. Doing it your way is the right way. When it comes to dusting down my walls and my ceilings, I love using my Swiffer duster. Of course, this is not the only thing you can use to clean down your walls, but I do love the flexibility of it, and I don't have to stand on anything to reach those high areas. But of course, if you guys do not want to keep on spending money on a Swiffer, if you do not have that, live within your means and in your budget, you can buy a broom, affordable broom or mop, and use that specifically for dusting your walls. Now, we don't want to use the same mop on the floor onto the walls, because you don't want to transfer that dirt from the floor onto your white walls. We don't want to do that, okay? But if you can afford to purchase an affordable mop or broom, use that to dust down your walls instead of buying a Swiffer, because you do have to continuously buy the heads or the little feather duster parts to replace onto your rod, Swiffer rod. So if that is not within your means, do not feel like you have to live a certain way because of what you see on social media. Live within your means. I'm going to be trying something new by leaving some ASMR in the video. Let me know if you guys like the natural sound in combination with music, or if you guys just prefer me to do the music and speed the video up. Because I'm coming back later to do my nails, I am adding the items for that process back to my nightstand. So that's why my nightstand still looks a bit unorganized in this clip. But of course, at the end of me cleaning the room and everything, all of that will be removed and you guys will see the polished look of the room. For cleaning my mirrors, you know I had to pull out my secret weapon, which is my newspaper. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I had to pull out my newspaper because y'all know I tell y'all all the time, the newspaper just gives the mirror and the windows a shine out of this world. If you don't believe me, ask your mama and your grandmama, and they gonna tell you that I'm telling the truth. When wiping down my television or my radio or any electrical device, I like to add my cleaning product to my napkin or my microfiber cloth, whatever you're using to clean with, and then you just want to go ahead and wipe down that device. Don't soak the towel or the cloth, just dampen it and clean down the electrical device. Analytics show that I have a lot of young people following me, so if you guys didn't know, I just want to be helpful for you guys. I feel like the older crowd around my age that follows me really just want to watch something to inspire them to go ahead and get stuff done, or they just want something playing in the background. But for my youngies out there, just dampen your cloth and then go in with that onto your electronic device. I know a lot of you admire the way I make my bed, even though I really don't think it's all that, to be honest. I know you guys like the way I make my bed, but it's all about layering. So once you put down your fitted sheet, and a lot of you have the loose sheet that goes over that. Unfortunately, I can't find that here in my part of Germany, but if you guys have that, you just want to layer. So add your 2 sheets, make sure you're folding if it has a pattern for that to show. Then you can go in with your blanket or your quilt, or if you just have throw blankets, just add a throw blanket and fold it where it looks as if it's more than one throw blanket, and then you go ahead and add a second throw on top. Or if you have multiple throws, like I said, it's all about layering. You just want those different layers to show, to give it a more luxe kind of look. So that's basically it. And then if you're extra like me, you can add 1,000 pillows to your bed. Then to finish off and make everything smell good, I went in with my Febreze all over my bed as well as my curtains. And here is the final look of the bedroom. My home is completely cleaned. Of course, I cleaned the entire home off camera because I just wanted to make sure everything was clean for when we went on vacation and came back home. But I only shared the bedroom with you guys because I was in my flow and I did not want to break that. Now it's time to make our Bahamian dumpling soup. And I start this soup really early because in the Bahamas we say if somebody makes you dumpling soup, it's because they love you, honey. Because the work that goes into this soup, hello. You don't just make this for any and everybody, okay? You want to start off by cooking your ribs. Make sure your ribs are nice and tender or close to tender before you add it to your soup. I'm also going to put my ham in the back because I only need to scald that off. So I'm going to set that in the back until I'm ready for it. In the meanwhile, I'm going to cut down my sweet potatoes, my regular potatoes. You can use yam, of course. I'm just using anything and everything that I have in my kitchen at this present time. I didn't go shopping for this. I'm just using everything I have. And you want to chop down everything where it's almost bite-sized, big enough to fit in your spoon, but not too small where it just disappears inside the soup. This is a chunky, hearty soup that we love to make when the weather is cold. I am starting my base with coconut oil because I didn't have any coconut milk. The things that my mom always uses that I didn't have was coconut milk, peas, as well as some turkey and turkey and conch. I didn't have those things, so I'm using what I have. Of course, if you guys don't eat beef or pork, you can make this all white meat and use chicken and turkey or seafood. You can use shrimp as well as crab, some mussels, scallops, or you can just have it with the dumplings and the vegetables. You don't have to use meat at all. You can make it your own. But in the Bahamas, this is a meal that you make for your loved ones when it is cold and y'all just need something to warm you up and fill you up. After cooking down my veggies, I'm going to go in with my base, which is a tomato base. So I'm adding some tomato paste, some tomato puree, and I added a little bit of ketchup to sweeten it because my mom always used ketchup and I love how she makes it. I didn't have any browning, so I'm using Worcestershire sauce, and then I'm just going to add my water and season my water to taste. When adding your water, be mindful that whatever you add to your water will make it rise. So you want to go in with the water halfway full in your pot and then later on down add in as needed. I'm going to go ahead and give my potatoes about a 10-minute head start. So I'm going to add those to the pot while I work on my dough. Now to make dumplings, it's really easy. It's only 3 ingredients, some flour, a pinch of salt, and water. That is it. And that's your dumpling. Now, when making your dumplings, you don't want it to be soft. You don't want it to be too soft or sticky because it will disappear in the soup. You want it nice and kind of almost dry, tacky, but not dry. I can't explain it. You have to look at the texture in my hand. I can't really explain it, but you want to go ahead and mix that. You'll know when to pour it onto the table. Just put some flour down when you've reached the right consistency, and then you just want to knead that for a few minutes until everything comes together. For my dumpling pieces, I'm just going to go ahead and make some flat ones. You just want to roll it into a ball and just press it out with your thumb and stretch it just a little bit. And I'm also going to make the long ones. You could always just roll it in your hands and make the ball and just leave that as is. I do all three because I like to see the different looks inside my soup. I do all three and I just set them aside, and I add everything to my pot. I add all of my meat, all of my veggies, and I add some more water just to lift it up. And of course, season as you go. You want to keep tasting your soup or your broth and making sure that it tastes good, because you want your guests to be leaving saying, wow, she put her foot in that. You know what I'm saying? So make it taste good. Keep on tasting and seasoning if you don't have exact measurements, because I measure by heart. I can't give exact measurements, although I do try. In my mind, I try to keep a record of what I used and how much I used to give a estimate or guesstimate of how much to use. But always taste your food so you know that it's seasoned to your liking. Now that everything is inside the pot and the soup is up to temperature, I'm going to add my dough to it. And make sure when you're adding it in, you're not adding them directly on top of each other, because they will stick together. So every time you add them in, just make sure that they get into the broth so that they kind of stay separated. And then we're just gonna let this cook for another about 15 minutes. Serve it while it's not too hot but cool, and enjoy. I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me today. If you did, please remember to give a girl a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed as yet. Share this with somebody that's looking for some cleaning inspo as well as a new recipe. And I will see y'all in the next one. So until then, auf Wiedersehen.